The bright day glimmered over him. The full sun pulled his eyes to pieces, pierced his lashes, threw the sea towards him in 1,000 shimmering specks and sparks. Waves were all around him, shooting outwards through the green sea and towards the tall hills, and the mountains rose and ran. The background hills were light, and sky and cloud danced tangos over them. White gulls accosted space and him, and them, the other passengers, and even though his head felt heavy with the past, he brushed it off and thought about the holiday. Here was the place he loved, the purple patch of island with the testy rocks besmirched by straight, white droppings from the gulls' dumped purity, the heavy, bright seas, and the shores that seemed to dip and dive. The holiday mood was on them, and in him, on and in him, further and furthermore. No more thinking about his family and her. Fishing, bird-watching, a good evening fire, Scottish food and Scottish hospitality. A gust came from the north, chilling him. Her eyes broke loose. He turned towards the sky, towards the hills that shouldered clouds. His own eyes tested the distance. Now is better, now is fine. He noticed guillemots and shags. They climbed the water easily, confident swimmers over deep undertow, currents that creamed up out of shelves, shores where waves stormed against rocks, turned to the kind sun sleepily. Gold and gleaming goblins of waves came rippling back towards the boat. For once it was almost hot. Summer gifted the highlands with a rare day. Rivulets rushed to the sea, and the sea, returning their interest, embraced them. Would the trout be waiting there? Would salmon linger for a tasty snack? Kittiwakes were screaming, but perhaps for mackerel. The northern ocean filled full of them every summer as thousands careened in and careered along, gobbling fry, worms, and lures. He smiled. Yes, he'd forget it all. The port was nearing, and the passengers were getting ready, him too, bags in hand. Coming into harbour took his breath away. The sun fell low on granite walls. They pushed, they shoved. The ridges of the gangway held. Scottish soil, pipits, a reddening sun cooled the furnace door of day. "Here!" shouted a man, and the coach for Loch Gilphead opened its doors. Inside was warm. The coach set off, past bushes, clumps of banks, spiked plants, sentinels beside canals and sea. The weather worsened as the coach approached its destination, but the sun, determined to have its say and day, pushed through again and again. Another wait, another coach, a bus really, and in 50 minutes he stepped off onto a quiet road and a quiet evening. The loch seemed very still, hardly a breeze across its surface, the mew of a buzzard far off, bats and deer far, far in the trees, water-like flowers rose and fell, long grass pushed over and upright, but to him there seemed no wind at all. Strange, he thought.